The Chair has notice of a point of order raised by the Honourable Member for Jean Lebert.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise on a point of order regarding a statement made yesterday by the member from Essex during statements by members. I quote, "To mark the end of the Queen's Diamond Jubilee year, I awarded medals to 30 outstanding Canadians from Windsor, Essex." The member then went on to list some 26 names. Then the member said, and I quote again, "As well, I awarded the medal to 4 distinguished Canadian blacks." I stand on this point of order to highlight that exclusion is one of the subtle tools of institutionalized racism. It slides by us, very often unnoticed. But for me, Mr. President, it affected me deeply, viscerally, and immediately. I waited to stand today because I wanted to verify in Hansard that these were the words spoken. They were. I stand in this place and I ask my honourable colleague from Essex to withdraw those remarks to demonstrate his belief that these individuals are not separate from those other outstanding Canadians. Thank you.
The Honourable Member for Essex.
Thank you. The intervention from my colleague opposite. I want to provide a little bit of context in terms of background for that statement. Mr. Speaker, I did do my Queen's Diamond Jubilee Medal celebration on the 23rd of February, which also consequently was Black History Month. The reason that I took note as a separate item of these distinguished medal recipients, Mr. Speaker, is precisely, and it's for the same reason we have a Black History Month. We have not yet reached the point where there is integration, and so to celebrate the individual successes of Canadian blacks are important, Mr. Speaker. And I think it's important to commend that. So I hope that it's understood by the member opposite that that's the spirit in which we've achieved. We will reach the point where it becomes our shared history, where we all embrace that particular aspect. And Mr. Speaker, in terms of the specific term used, I did counsel with the former curator of the North American Black Historical Museum to ensure that I was accurate both in the speech I gave it on the 23rd of February at home, but also with respect to my statement here in the House recognizing members. I did want to be very sensitive, obviously, to that. So I hope the member understands there's no intention of any type of a slight. I think this is a major celebration, whether from all walks of life, Mr. Speaker, but I thought it was appropriate because it was Black History Month, and as I say, it was counseled with those who would have knowledge, including one of the Queen's Diamond Jubilee Medal recipients that I spoke of, Mr. Speaker, who is a very noted, Ms. Elise Harding-Davis, who is a very well-noted expert on Black history in Canada, Mr. Speaker, history going back as well to fugitive slaves and Underground Railroad history, Mr. Speaker. So I hope that's the member understands that's the context in here. I do celebrate the accomplishments of all Canadians, including Black Canadians. Thank you.
Honourable Member for Jean Lebert.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I just want to point out that integration may not be fully resolved, but it will only happen if we actually practice it by separating, even though I understand what your intent was, by separating those of African descent from the main list sends a message that they are not included. Inclusion is what we need. Inclusion will build integration. Thank you.